Hello everyone, welcome to the new video of SEO workflow automation newsletter or series. In this video, we are going to talk about how to optimize your titles and description so that you can get better CTR and potentially better ranking positions as well. Now, before we go into the script, if we haven't connected on LinkedIn, please do so that whenever I share something, you will have it in your feed. If you haven't subscribed to the newsletter yet, please do that as well. Now we have over 1,500 subscribers, and you will be able to receive all the scripts in your inbox. If you are interested in Google Search Console API, I have 6 videos, all the free tutorials. This first one being the most popular video of all time, where I think, spent more than 30 minutes explaining how GSC API works and how you can get that data and integrate in your project. Now, coming to the script, I developed the script, I think, more than a year back now, and recently I reused that script at my work, where I had to give suggestions for the better title and description for more than 80 pages. I took that script, I create a kind of a bulk analysis version of it. I am not sharing the bulk version right now because the video might get super long. But if you're interested, please let me know somewhere in the YouTube comment or anywhere. You can reply to me or email me as well, and I will be able to share the bulk script as well. And if you think that the script and everything gets too technical and you would like to have just a simple tool where you can go in and do the multiple clicks and get all this data and the suggestion for you, let me know, and I could try something like that as well. So going to the script, what the script does. So first step is identifying what are the URLs or the pages that has improvement opportunity or CTR growth opportunity. You could do that in GSC as well. You could, let's say, come to pages and you sort by low CTR, and it's like, hey, this is the page which has a lower CTR. Maybe that might work out for the smaller website. As the websites tend to get larger, that becomes difficult. And then here there are some cleaning that you need to do. Those cleaning is not available in GSC. So we will talk about what that is. So let's say once you have decided what is the page that you want to optimize for, the next step is to go into the GSC data for that page, look into all the search queries. So let's say what generally we have been doing is, let's say we opened up this page, it's like, okay, this is what we want to optimize. Often I see those workflows where people are like, okay, fruit packing box is the best search term. Let's go back to the page. Let's make sure that the fruit packing box, that entire search query or keyword is a phrase is in the title, and then hope that we will be able to have better CTR. That approach is also fine. There is nothing wrong with it. But I have seen successes with the approach which I am going to go into, which is looking at all the search queries that are getting impressions in the top 10 position, then tokenizing all those search queries into the terms, then removing the stop words from it, and then calculating the frequency of all the terms that's being used, and then taking the top 10 or top 15 of those terms that are mostly used in the search query and matching it with the title and description, and giving you an insight into what are the search terms that users are using for, and Google is also showing you impression in, but you are not using them in your title and description. And what that tends to do is two things. One, that if you add those terms, that increases relevance of your page from a content perspective. And second, from user experience perspective, those title and description is much more relevant and you're using the terms that your users are using to find your website, and your CTR goes up. So let's not talk too much about it. Let's go into the script, and hopefully the things will be clear. Okay. Now, the first thing first, we use the same class that we have been using for the previous projects as well. So this is the class. If you have seen the previous videos, I'm sure you know it. Then you have your own client ID and client secrets. Don't use mine; it won't work out for you. You will get errors. Um, if you don't know how to generate this, watch my first video, and I think things will be plenty clear. Now, let's go and validate or authorize and authenticate our Google Search Console API. And then here I'm getting the list. I'm using the same class function. In this case, we are going to be using Trident for this example. So I have the code here, but you can you can edit the dates that you want to look into, and then you have a dimension, and then you can have your countries. If you want to go more granular, you can just remove this hash. You can remove the comment, and you can have the countries that you are focused on. In this case, I'm not doing that because the business also exports, and then customers are all across the world, and then so that I am not gonna limit it by the country. More importantly, you can see here that I am fetching these three dimensions called date, page, and query. Uh, and this is very important because when you look at, let's say, the data, what we really want to do is we want to only analyze the search queries that is receiving impressions in top 10 position. So if you don't have this data date wise, then it becomes very difficult for you to remove that, because then the data that you will have will be the average position for the query and not the daily uh, impressions of the query. So now I have this data. I go a little bit into the cleaning mode. The first cleaning that we do is from this set of data, we remove the pages with hash, and those pages with hash is basically the site links and the impressions that you're getting into the site links. In this data set, in this website case, I don't have that, but I have added it here because I'm sure most of you will have site links. The next thing is that we created this new data frame called CTR growth opportunities raw, where we have the DF but without hash. Now I am doing some more operation on the same data set. I'm just keeping the rows where the positions are less than 10. Then I am removing the brand queries, which is Trident in this case. You can have multiple here. You can also have a different query based on but you will have to edit this, so keep that in mind. So once I do that operation, I have way less number of rows. You can see I only have like 63,000. But these rows are also by date and page and query. So I need to group them. So the first operation that I do is I take this database data frame group by page because I want to receive the URLs. And then I want to sum or total or aggregate the clicks and impression by page. I am also adding one more number here, which is how many number of unique queries that are there. And then there are some standard things like sorting by clicks and calculating the CTR, because once I do this, I will lose CTR and position columns. So I'm calculating a CTR, then resetting the index, and then I get the grouped list of URLs. Now, if you have a larger website, this will create a very long list. So what I am also doing is I'm just looking at the top 20, top 75%. So I'm taking the impression numbers and I'm saying that just show me the URL that falls in top 75% of numbers. So I'm removing just the bottom quartile by doing this. So now I have a list of pages with a CTR number, and let's say I can see that here I am receiving almost 10,000 impression, but only 100 clicks, and I have a CTR of 1%. So let's say I want to, you can come here and select and say, okay, I want to improve CTR for fruits and vegetables. So that's the first part where you will be able to identify all the pages and how the CTRs are performing, and then you can select. So once you have selected that, the next step is you come here and you just like define a variable called selected URL. Then we take the same DF growth opportunity raw data frame that we created, which is the clean database, which only has rows for the position that are less than 10, etc. And I'm creating one more data frame called page CTR optimization DF that has all the data only for this page. And then once again, I'm doing this operation of grouping. So grouping them by query in this case, then sorting by clicks, calculating CTR, resetting the index, and printing this. So now I can see that, okay, here are all the search queries giving me impression in top 10 positions with their impression in clicks, etc., and what my CTRs on those. And that's fine. Now let's move forward. And the next thing that we want to do is we want to tokenize them and then calculate the frequency of each word in the search query for all the search queries. So I'm importing NLTK, I'm importing stop words and downloading all the stop words that are there. So in this case, you can just like readily use the stop words that are there. And here is all the list of stop words. If you think that there are more that you want to consider, you can just like add to this list and you should be able to use it. Next thing, I am creating a query list from page CTR. So basically, I'm taking all these 248 rows and I'm creating a list out of the query column. That's what this code does. And then I'm looking into, so I'm iterating over each and say, for each of the query in query list, split them by space. And then for each word in each split, if the each word is not in stop words, then add it to the token. So eventually, if I iterate through this, I will get a list of tokens which won't have stop words in it. The next step is to count the tokens. So I'm importing the collections from collection. I'm importing the counter, and then if I do counter token, then I get this. So basically, this is telling me that the fruit as a keyword has been used, a term has been, or token has been used 68 times, packing has been used 37 times, etc. So once I have this, I am also creating a data frame out of it so that you can just like view it better. So here you can see that box, fruit, boxes, packaging, cardboard, cartons, packing, etc. is the frequency and how many times it has been used. And then I'm seeing that from the token count, just look into the top 10 and that is my find gap data frame. And from the find gap, only look into the token and convert them to list. And then I have a list as find gap terms. So these are the terms which I will use to find gaps. But these are the most used terms. Maybe the naming is a little bit confusing. I think and accept that I'm realizing it right now. But think of this as the most used terms in the search queries when users are searching it. Let me add this comment here and say most used terms when in search queries in GSC. Okay. All right. Now the next step is that, so now we know that what are the terms that is most used when they are making searches. The next step is we want to match that with our existing title and description. And to be able to do that, we will also have to scrape the title description for all the pages. Um, and for that, I have written a function here. This is extracting title and description. And this is the function. I'm running the function right now. I'm printing the title. So now I can see that the title for this page is Fruits and Vegetable Export, Corrugated Box Manufacturer, Cardboard Carton. And then description is Trident BBI manufacture corrugated boxes for fruits and vegetable export, best quality, moisture resistant, made from virgin craft fruits and vegetable carton. So not great. Let's see what the output will be. Now the next thing is we want to compare this title with the terms and say what are the terms that user using but we are not using in our title. And what we get is boxes, packing, and packaging. So we are talking about um, corrugated box manufacturer, cardboard carton, but we are not using packaging or packing. I think that's a great insight, right? So let's go to description, and probably again, packing and packaging are the terms that we are not using. And now at this stage, we have those output that we want is what are the things that we are not using. Now, next step is we have this, and let's go and import OpenAI. I have my OpenAI API key that you will have to save it here with OpenAI API key as an environment variable. I am pulling that OpenAI API key environment variable here. This is the code that will be able to pull that in. Then you have from OpenAI import AI, client is equal to OpenAI. And this will create kind of object, I guess, that you can use. And here is a function which will have a system prompt and a user prompt that I'm writing as an input. Um, and here is the system prompt that I have written. You can read it through, but this is very basic. You can add more on top of it. But this is the most important part. In the input prompt, I have here is an existing title. So I'm giving them giving this LLM a title. And then here, I'm saying here is the gap terms for the title. So like here is my gap. Here is my meta description. Here's the gap for the meta description. Here are the most used terms. So I'm also giving them the top 10. And then I'm saying generate the 3 suggestions for title description by incorporating missing term. Or gap term as you deem fit. And then I have some tips for titles and description that is also generated by ChatGPT. So feel free to change it as you would like. And then I can just hit response and it will generate the response, and I can just print the response. And here I can get the titles and description of the page. So one of the suggestions is like premium corrugated packing boxes for export. Maybe not that great, right? Let's also see what we are using. We're using GPT-4o. The second is high quality cardboard box packaging for fruits and vegetables. Maybe this is good. Corrugated boxes for cartons for fruits and vegetable packaging. Maybe this is a good one. Similarly, you have description as well. You can look at that and evaluate. Now, this is the script, but I also wanted to make it a little bit easier for us to quickly use. So if you run all these functions, and I have already got the DF, so you don't need to do that. So you can just like come here and you can look into all the pages. So now I'm just running that one function and it is giving me this data frame. And let's say in this case, I am going for this URL. And then the next one is, if you run this, it will say enter the URL. Once you enter, it will give you the missing terms from missing titles, terms missing from the titles. So here are the ones like paper, cups, custom holder, cardboard. And here are the ones that are missing from description, because for this page, there is no description. And now you can get the better title is like custom coffee cup sleeves and cardboard holders manufacturer in India. Indian manufacturer of hot paper, coffee cup sleeves and holders, etc. So This is the easier way to use it. And I also uh, uh, been through the entire code. What you have to remember is that when you run the code, you will have to ensure that you run this code and then uh, uh, you run this code, because these are the functions that will be used. So I'll maybe stop here, but this is what I got in terms of improving title and description. This please consider this as a first draft. I would rely more on these types of findings. If you're working with copywriters, educate them on how you have come to this data set. Uh, if they have a better context, they'll be able to optimize it better. And these types of scripts can considerably cut down your time for analysis, and you can focus on the better things. Last thing, please give me a feedback. If you need that bulk script, I can publish that as well. If you think that this tool like version of this will be better useful, let me know and I can spin that out as well. I have already started building this in the GSC Explorer app. I'm not sure how many of you are aware, but I have created a GSC Explorer as an open source app. Here is a GitHub for this. You can look it up. And then here is an app. This is completely free. You can come here. As you can also, there is no database to this, so it is all like doing things on the go. So if you, let's say, do continue to dashboard, it will ask you for your GSE access. Once you give the access, they will ask you to select the website, and here it will also ask you to select um, a brand term. So you just do the comma, and these terms that you enter will be considered as a part of analysis when you're doing the queries, etc. So for example, you can just like readily get some of the views from here. More importantly, what are the clicks that is coming from brand and non-brand, and also things like anonymized. So for example, more than half of the clicks that you are getting is from anonymized. So this is available for free. You can just like check it out. But the thing that I was talking about is a tool-like version. I'm thinking to provide it here. Um, I don't know I'll be able to do that for free or not, but let me know, like because I'm using that chat GPT thing. So let's say you can just like select a page here, maybe something like five ply, fetch data, and here I have already built up till what are the missing tokens. Now it is showing everything because I don't have a title and I haven't scraped it. But let me know if the tool-like version of this CTR optimization would be helpful for you or not. And that's all. Thanks for watching. And if you have more ideas, I should be building scripts for some of the ideas, let me know and I can do that. Thank you so much.